It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
President Donald Trump posted an AI-generated video dropping what appears to be feces on No Kings protesters. During an interview with Newsweek, Republican Congressman Jimmy Patronis dismissed criticism.
So I think as the president is just trying to react, or whoever on his team is trying to react to the free speech that's taking place in cities all over the country, he decided to, respond with his own sense of humor.
Newsweek also sat down with Republican Congressman Randy Fine, who had a similar reaction to the video.
I think one of the best things about President Trump is he can sometimes make light of a serious situation, use humor to make his point. And I think part of our problem, and this is frankly the result of decades of wokeism, is no one can laugh anymore.
What's clear is that these sort of posts from the president may not be tasteful for his critics, but those who support him appreciate his humor. Reporting from Washington for Newsweek, I'm Leonardo Feldman. President Donald...
Is this really is this really humor? Like shitting on your citizens? That's crazy. I mean, you're the president, for Christ's sake. Now, if this, maybe Trump should create a burner account for mess like this. Like, if you're gonna post this on your social media, like, this is really how you feel about the American citizens, and you're the president, and you're really trashing free speech, freedom to protest peacefully, and coming from our president is sad to see. This country is going to hell, and no, we're not going to hell, but I mean, we could do better. I mean, we just need a president who doesn't want to troll people and actually wants to, value the protests and free speech. I mean, it is what it is. We have the right to do it. But to shit on Americans is crazy. America first, baby. America first. Why are we doing this to our countrymen? It doesn't make sense. It makes absolutely no sense. But if Biden would have posted something like this, or Obama, we know Obama is not going to stoop that low, because Obama respected other people's positions in politics. Donald Trump doesn't respect other people's positions in politics, when in fact they said it's wokeism. Nobody can laugh anymore. It's not funny for the president to shit on Americans. It's not funny. Now, if there was a Jimmy Kimmel-like individual who posted this, it would make sense, because it's childish. We don't need a child president, and that's the point. Like, come on, man, you gotta have some.
Or Joe Biden to run for re-election. You don't use words like that in here. In fact, you think what was reckless was pushing him out. Can you explain?
Yeah, so I think you have his decision to run. You have to go back to 2023 early, that winter spring moment coming out of the midterms, which was arguably, it's been stated, one of the most successful midterm elections for a first term president. And there wasn't a red wave. There was supposed to be a red wave. And a lot of it was because of the successes that came from the Biden administration. And I would say from that time, arguably, you could say he was successful, right? And I just mentioned in his first couple of years, he was the incumbent. He was the only person to have ever beaten Donald Trump in a presidential election. And so all the things lined up, and everyone was saying you should run, he should run. And so that's what I want to take people back to that time and not be revisionist historians here and really focus on what made him make that decision. And I think for me, fast forwarding to June 2024, when so much was at stake for this country, for our democracy, it just seemed as if doing that to someone also who had more than 50 years of, public servant work and had, again, arguably a very successful, objectively, a very successful presidential run, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why this is the way you would treat somebody when we are just weeks, months ahead of an election season in a really unprecedented time.
I am not throwing the Democrats under the bus in this book. I'm speaking my own truth. I am speaking about what I have experienced and what I know from working on the inside. I don't want Republicans to get any more power. I've been very, very clear about that. But I don't want to be beholden to the Democratic Party or any party. Honestly, more people, I believe, should be like this. They should make parties work for our vote, not expect it, right? They should make sure that our leadership are held to account. And that's where I am. I'm very much aligned with the Democratic Party. That's why I say, that's what I write in the book. And I think everybody has to find their own voice in this moment. And it requires all of us. It requires all of us to step in and speak very loudly on how we move forward here. And we can't really rely on the leadership. I think this is a moment where the people have to stand up and speak out. I talk about this in the book too, in ways that we have seen.
Now, this I agree with. Now, I align with Democratic policies, but man, I just need them to work more for my vote, not just be out here like. First of all, I live in Oklahoma. We will never, well, I ain't gonna say never, to win one of the 5 electoral votes in Oklahoma will be slim to none. I think the closest we got to winning an electoral vote was during the Joe Biden administration, when Joe Biden won president. We didn't even get close when Obama won twice. In Oklahoma. Not one blue electoral vote, not one. So, and for the first time was when Joe Biden, and of course we've been having Republican governors. I think Brad Henry back in in the 2000s, early 2000s, was a Democrat. And that was the first time Oklahoma was going well. The budget was good, everything. Then we got Mary Fallon, and she was terrible. And not only that, we got worse with Kevin Stitt. So, Republicans are not running Oklahoma well. And I stand by the Democrats in our city, in Oklahoma City and the surrounding areas, but we'll never win an electoral college for any Democrat president ever.
Those moments in the past 9 almost 10 months now. And so it is a time to really look within, think about where your voice is, and we have to make sure we do that together. And that is my kind of movement in doing this forward. Look, everybody's going to do this their own way. I'm not going to speak to any other, committees or PACs outside of the 2-party system. But what I can speak to is how I see this moment right now. And this is a critical moment. Our democracy, we have essentially we are being dragged into an authoritarian regime. That's what we see right now. Our democracy is falling apart because of the leadership in the White House. And they've been very clear about that. Just look at Project 2025. They've not been hiding this. And if we are not careful, if we are not paying attention, then we're going to be a shell of what we are as a country, and in just a few months. And so it is not the time to do business as usual. This is why I wrote this book. I wrote this book because I think it's an opportunity for us right now to have a conversation, a real conversation. Because if we don't have this conversation about, okay, how do we move forward? Who are we? The system is broken. How do we fix it? How do we move forward? Then it's gone.
No Republican is going to read this book because she's irrelevant to Republicans, and that's who she need to be speaking to. More Republicans will read Project 2025 before they read this book, and that's very slim, very slim, because nobody read Project 2025. I mean, what is it, like 3,000 pages or something like that?
I do want to say something to the first clip that you all just showed.
Yeah. The Democrat Party's main constituency are made up of Hamas terrorists, illegal aliens, and violent criminals.
Hearing that, it's deplorable. And I'm using that word on purpose.
Yeah.
Because they don't seem to understand, this is the Trump White House, that they don't work for just one man.
Yeah.
They work for the American people. Yeah. It is about coming together about a common good. Yeah. The White House press secretary is not.
Oh, they about to shut The View down next week after this interview.
Not about doing online trolling.
Right.
It is not. It is an honor and a privilege to have that job and to speak on behalf of the most powerful person in the world. And there is a level of respect for the freedom of the press.
Right.
Even if you don't, if you disagree with them.
Yeah.
And that is what that whole back and forth, when you see in the press briefing room, is about. It shows that we believe in democracy.
Yeah.
It shows the world, not just here, but the world. That the press is going to do what they need to do to hold us accountable, and we're going to do what we need to do to communicate to the American people about what we're doing. So I do want.
One of the arguments is that part of the problem with the Democratic Party is that the leadership is just too old, that they're just too old, and their lives.
Goddamn facts. Why we got Mitch McConnell falling over, walking down the hallway? Why is Chuck Schumer? Why is he celebrating his 200th birthday next week? Why is this happening, dog? I just don't understand. Like, man, Nancy Pelosi gotta be 99 years old. Just give it up, man. Let somebody else in the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they still got that old school fight in them. You know what I'm saying? You ever got into a fight with an old person and they strong as hell, you just can't throw them down? That's Mitch McConnell, Chuck Schumer, and Nancy Pelosi. Like, they got that old man strength. But give it up. Like, y'all, nobody's listening to y'all no more. And I don't know why people keep voting them in if they even get voted in at this point. They just grandfathered in at this point.
Are just not connected enough to the daily realities of most Americans. Do you think that's fair?
I do think that we need young people to become.
Bernie Sanders is 155 years old. I mean, he makes great points. He was a great presidential candidate at one time. But bro, like I swear I seen him up on at the Kings rally with an oxygen mask on, because he can't breathe regular oxygen, so he gotta have an oxygen tank with him.
Politically active and to run. I say this all the time. I think that we always need new blood. We always need new voices. And I think it's important I want to see that. And I think it is time for the old guard to let go, right? I think what would be wonderful to see is, hey, let's train, give experience to younger people so they know how this works, and give them advice and help them get elected, help them get into places where we can have diverse and various different voices. I am saying that right now, the two-party system is not working.
A lot of people are dissatisfied A lot of Democrats or people who identify as Democrats are dissatisfied with the party right now. Where do you think the major failure is? What are they not doing?
Well, right now, in this moment, which is why I actually wrote the book, to give people a roadmap, I don't think there's any teeth. There's no fight. Where's the soul? And when I left the Democratic Party, when I left the administration this year on January 20th of this year, I was just minding my business, going to the supermarket, going to pick up my kid, going to the coffee shop, and people would come up to me in tears, most of them, and would say to me, what's happening? Why is the Democratic leadership not fighting? What's happening? We need more. How are we going to get out of this? And I talk about that in the book, and that's what created for me an opportunity as a private citizen now to say, okay, how do we focus on where we are today? How do we move forward? And what's a roadmap that people can follow to get engaged? I think it's really important to get involved and to get engaged, and that's what this book is about.
I agree. There's no more fight left in the Democratic Party. They're fighting their hearts out right now for this to stop Project 2025. I get that, but one thing I do find with the that Trump did better than any Democrat presidential candidate is Trump touched young and old. Trump got out there. Trump went to podcasts that reached younger crowds. Kamala and Joe Biden went to the same people every time. Same people. No new voices. No new ideas. Nothing. Which was a complete failure, I think, with the Democratic presidential candidates. Instead of going to where the people are, they went to where the old people are. That's why you have so many old damn congressmen, is because nobody's touching the youth. Nobody's going to talk to the younger crowds. And they keep talking, and the younger crowds are not voting for you. Because you won't talk to them, you won't see what they have to say. You won't even fight enough for us. Y'all fighting for health care for old people because y'all want to make sure y'all got Social Security. We don't even care about Social Security. We thinking about making this money on the internet. We ain't even thinking about retirement. We know we're not gonna retire because when we go to Walmart, we see people old as dirt at the front, or working as a cashier, or sweeping the halls, or checking your receipt. We ain't never gonna quit working. So young people ain't thinking about that, but old people are. They still thinking about shit that happened in 1980. And y'all don't get over that crap. But anyway, old is gold. Yeah, if you make it to old, but if other than that, if you're not if you're not looking out for the youth, don't nobody care. If you're not my grandma, why would I care about you? Old is just old. Democrats need to fight harder. If you want to be a Democratic candidate, you got to fight harder. And you got to reach the people. You got to get out there and talk to the people. You can't like even in Oklahoma. If our Democrats never go to speak to the youth, we don't even know who they are. I'm not saying like kids. I'm talking about like from 40 down. You know what I'm saying? Those are the people that are coming out and voting. That's where most of the people are. But they speak to the same people, go to the same stupid radio station, send out the same newspaper clippings. Nobody reads newspaper clippings. Now some of the younger politicians coming up are on social media, but where are their talking points? You know what I'm saying? Their talking points are not reaching the people who they need to. But there's one candidate, and she's my friend. She's in Oklahoma, and she's actually going out there. But like, she's so inexperienced that it's going to be hard for people to trust her, especially older people. They're going to be like, I don't know if I want another Jasmine Crockett in in office right now. Yeah, we need another Jasmine Crockett in office, okay? I'm not saying that she's Jasmine Crockett. I'm just saying, in the context of having a younger woman in there or younger male in there, like we need better representation, whether they're black, white, or whatever. We need better representation in Congress. AOC is not enough, and she's tough, and she don't back down, and she hasn't. But as long as New York is a blue state, she'll be there because she fights for the people. She reaches the right people. That's what these candidates need. And I see AOC. She gonna be the first. What is she? Puerto Rican. First Puerto Rican in the White House. Y'all gonna really hate that. It's gonna be all kind of empanadas and chanclas laying around at the front door of the White House. Looking at us. People gonna be double fisting chorizos in that mug. Gonna be a bunch of big women in there. Puerto Rican Day Parade gonna go up. All that shit.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as early as 1 week.